What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We're going to be talking about Elladin and his kit reveal. A big shout out to Tana for getting the kit reveal here with the exclusive scoop from CG. That is awesome to see for him. I hope that we get some other content creators out there soon that will also get these kinds of exclusives. It's very nice to see CG working with YouTubers again. But yeah, this is going to be awesome. But yeah, we're going to talk about Elladin and his kit, talk about his synergies with Rivendell and Ranger squads both, and why I think that he could work with a couple of other teams too, based on what we see within his kit. We're going to break that all down in today's video. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. Alright, so the tags for Elladin. You can see most of them here: tank, elf, Rivendell, ranger. There's also going to be a spear tag here that's not here. I think they didn't quite finish the artwork on the infographic here before sending it to him. But he is one of the twin sons of Elrond, a proud warrior driven to hunt the enemies of Rivendell. Resilient and resolute, his mere presence commands attention. Obviously, best with Elro here and Arwen. Both those characters are going to work very well with him, especially when you see his kit. So he is going to be a tank character. He's going to be the tank for your Rivendell team. And here are his abilities. His basic attacks a target enemy and inflicts weaken for 2 turns. His special gains 4 stacks of provoke, gain 1 stack of regeneration for 2 turns, grant deadly for 1 turn to self and 3 random allies, attacks all enemies for 300% damage, and gains 1 stamina for his ability per boon on self, and gains 3 stacks of provoke on his second special. And then on his passive, he gains 1 stack of nimble on turn and gains 10% bonus resistance. So starting here from the top with his basic that weaken for 2 turns, that could be pretty cool. If you could find a way to guarantee that he gets called to assist, you could get that weaken for 2 turns, which is nice to help reduce damage on the enemy team. I don't know if there's going to be someone within the Rivendell squad, but we could try to find some other team out there that could try to call him to assist in the future. And then his first special here gains 4 stacks of provoke, and then 1 stack regeneration for 2 turns, and then grants deadly to himself for 1 turn and 3 random allies. This is going to be pretty interesting. I am a little worried about the RNG here with the random allies, where it calls or gives that deadly to 3 random allies, especially if you're in a mirror match, and for instance, if your Lomian doesn't get deadly, but the enemy squad's Lomian gets deadly. I could see where that could cause a little bit of an issue with RNG. So I would like to see this before allies, but maybe this is a way to kind of keep him in check and without making teams get too strong. This could be a balanced thing with Lomian, or sorry, with Elladin and his special here. We'll have to see how it all pans out, but I can see where that RNG could be a headache for fighting certain teams or when you're trying to fight the team. We'll see how it all pans out. But then his second special is really, really interesting. He attacks all enemies and then gains 1 stamina for this ability per boon on self and gains 3 stacks of provoke. Now, we don't know what the energy costs are on these in terms of cooldowns. I would imagine that there's a little bit of a cooldown, probably I'd say 5 turn cooldown on this special, maybe 6, considering how we are here with the stamina per boon on self. Now, it should also be noted that if you have multiple stacks of a boon on him, it will not count. I do not believe it will count for or double dip on the like the stamina or something. So, for instance, if he has 2 stacks of regenerations on him, like for instance, Arwen will also give him regeneration. I don't think that will count as 2 stamina. We'll have to do tests on that to make sure, but I don't think that's how it's going to work. But you also use special 2 after special 1. Where he gains provoke, he gains regeneration, and gains deadly. That's 3 boons right there. Now, he's probably going to lose the provoke in time, but you still have at least regeneration and deadly, so you have at least those 2 that'll give stamina for him. And then his passive is 1 stack of nimble on turn, and then gains 10% resistance. Now, I think this is going to be 10% stacking resistance. It doesn't say stacking here. I know in Galaxy Heroes it would say stacking. So I would have to assume this is stacking, but again, we need clarification from CG on that. It makes sense that it would be stacking, but that would make him very interesting as a tank, where as the fight goes on, it's going to get harder and harder to put negative effects on him. But in terms of just wider kit, We also don't know the stats. We don't know his speed. We don't know his health. We don't know his armor. I would not be surprised to see him have stats close to Eothane in terms of what we can expect here. You know, Rohan, yeah, with Eothane, he kind of has the same thing going on with the stacks of provoke, but yeah, I don't quite know what we're gonna see from Elladin in terms of his kit, or in terms of his stats. I would imagine the stats would be quite a bit more powerful. So, yeah, we'll have to see when the stats are here. Now, in terms of teams, obviously, Rivendell and Ranger are both going to be teams that you can slot him into. If you're not going to get Elrond on the first pass, I could see where you're going to want to, you know, build. You're probably going to want to see where you can plug Elladin into teams, and that's what we're going to be talking about here. Obviously, Rivendell makes the most sense. Arwen is going to be very good with Elladin on the team, especially as your Elladin is taking damage. The passive Light of Rivendell from Arwen is going to grant him Nimble. You've also got regeneration and immunity on the most wounded Rivendell squad member. He is taunting, so he'll probably get this. And then if he's below 50% health, he gets a second stack of regeneration here. And then on her basic, she grants defensive to the most wounded squad member. So there's a lot of buffs that Arwen can be supplying to your Elladin to help give more boons, so that second special is going to get more stamina on it. Lomian is going to be very nice as well with his Flurry of Steel, where if you get deadly on him and you start stacking up the boons on him, well, now you've got 10% bonus crit chance per boon plus deadly, which is another 25%. So just that right there will give 35% bonus crit chance on Flurry of Steel. He's also got Nimble here if he does counter, which there are some AoE teams out there, so he will likely counter. He's going to give himself Might. So there's going to be quite a few boons flowing around on Lomian with how things are going to work. And with that deadly buff, it's going to be even better. And then, of course, Elroy here. Number one, you get the crit damage bonus here on his passive. But then at level 6, he's always going to retaliate against an enemy that has, or when they attack someone who has taunt or provoke. And there's going to be a lot of taunt and provoke going, or there's going to be a lot of provoke going on to Elladin. So you're going to get a lot of retaliations here. The basic will deal bonus damage per boon with his retaliation, and between Arwen and Elladin and their buffs, you're gonna get a lot of boons on him. So a lot of damage here with the basic retaliation as well. And if you use the Deadly Grace, well, then you've also got Might on Elro here. So his retaliations are going to hit for quite a bit, which is going to be nice. It looks like Elro here is going to finally really shine with Elladin on the squad. With all those provokes and everything, it's going to be very nice to see. Now, of course, we also don't have Elrond's kit yet. Hopefully we get that within the next couple of weeks. But I would imagine that we'll see what we get there. Now, also Rangers. Rangers is the other team that was mentioned here. And yeah, I do think that he would be okay on the Ranger squad. I'm still worried a little bit about this Ranger team in terms of they are a little squishy. And if there's a lot of AoE attacks going around on the enemy team, then you kind of run into issues where they're not really going to survive. Like Miri and Elro here are both very squishy. And that's going to be a bit of an issue, but also Strider. I think you're going to end up pulling Strider off for Road to Rivendell team down the road in the future. So, if you're trying to use a Ranger team for PvE, I'm not sure Elladin's going to quite be it, especially if we're going to be using Road to Rivendell at the same time. But if you haven't built Road to Rivendell and you have built Strider, and you don't have Elrond, yeah, I could see the Ranger team working pretty well here. At least in a PvE section. PvP, I would not expect to see PvP really do anything. You don't have the cleanses with Arwen. Arwen is going to be very helpful with Elladin and just keeping him alive. I just don't know how well that's going to work on a Ranger team. If we get, I think, if Faramir does come in the future, I don't know if that would really change anything either. The Ranger team needs some work, and I'm just not sure if Elladin's really going to fix that Ranger squad just yet. Now, some other teams that I have thought about, just what they could be used, or where Elladin could be useful. We already talked a little bit about it. Rohan could be interesting with the deadly buff. You have the lead with AON where Rohan assists and counters, deal bonus crit chance, or have bonus crit chance. And you combine the bonus crit chance in from deadly here, you could get some nice assists and counters going on. Now, it's temporary, it's a temporary buff, so I don't know how well it would work. And you could use Eldred a little bit to kind of keep him alive. For instance, the Invigorating Draught would give a stack of regeneration to Elladin, and it would heal him up a little bit. You get the healing here with Be Renewed. Very long cooldown on that, but I mean, it could be helpful. You may want to throw in someone else who could heal a little bit better, maybe give a little bit more synergy. You know, say like Eowyn, Eothane, or to take out Eothane, but Eowyn, Eomer, and then I guess, I don't know, Arwen, Elladin, and I don't know, someone else. Like it's this one's a little rough. I don't know how useful it would be, but it's an idea, and it could be one we try to perfect down the road when we do some testing. The other team that I do like the potential of with Elladin, and I can't believe as soon as I came with this idea, I was like, oh, this feels gross. It's gonna be Road to Rivendell. Now, the reason why I think this could be an interesting one is, number one, we finally get a tank for Road to Rivendell, because I still don't know why Sam has the tank tag. He's not actually a tank. But yeah, like, Strider, Frodo, Pippin, Merry, and Elladin could be an interesting combination. There's a lot of boons between Pippin and Merry. For instance, Merry, on his second special here, can give out haste, can also give stamina to random allies, so you get some stamina on Elladin. That's going to be helpful. And then Pippin, not only is his heal going to help cleanse negative effects from squad members, but his second special, Life of the Party, you grant might, and then you grant regeneration, so some extra boons for this team. And then here as well, on his passive, on turn, when you fully upgrade it, cleanse 1 bane from a random squad member. So you do get a little bit of nice synergy between those three, or between Pippin, Merry, and Elladin. A lot of boons going around. That's kind of what we're trying to figure out, is what teams can throw a lot of boons out on someone like Elladin, so you can keep that special going, and who else can help sustain him at the same time. And of course, the problem as well with Pippin is that his heal's not very good because he has very low health. And I mean, I don't know. This could be helpful with those two, but also Strider with Deadly on him. His heroic charge ability does get bonus crit chance, and through his passive he gains bonus crit chance as well. 15% at level 5 here through his passive. His heroic charge gains another 20%. So you're running with 35% there, plus another 25% from Deadly. Very good chance that you're going to throw a lot of the hobbits into stealth with this. And then, of course, with that, now Strider gets quite a bit more armor while they're in stealth. So this could be interesting with this team. It's one we're going to have to test out. But I do feel like Road to Rivendell with Elladin could be an interesting squad. I say that very tentatively. And also, you're probably wondering why on earth I have my Road to Rivendell so high. We'll talk about that, because I'm going through Tier 2 of Sam's event right now. And trust me, we're going to talk about that event, because that event is all sorts of messed up. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now with Theorycrafting, with Elladin and some squads he could fit into. Well, let me know what you guys think of Elladin and his kit and these team ideas. Do you guys think I missed a team idea, someone else I should look at for trying to slot Elladin in? Let me know down below. As always, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.